Listen, I'm a creature of habit and I like what I like and I like to buy what I like. It sounds so innocent and practical on the surface, right? Like just buy what you like and buy what works for you, buy what calls out to you. But the problem with that is that if I take home everything I see that I like and that I feel is so me or so my aesthetic and my style, then chances are this isn't a new revelation, it isn't a new type of behavior or purchase, and if I just took a moment to look in my closet, my guess is that the probability is extremely high that I've already brought something home that's very similar in the past, maybe even multiple times. That's why I know it's something that works for me and appeals to me. But that's a problem too, especially when it comes to expensive designer handbags. If I know I like a style, that's fine, but do I really need to have multiples just because it's a style I vibe with? Like, if you're a white t-shirt girly, I get wanting to have more than just one white shirt in your wardrobe, but when it comes to handbags, is that really necessary to have multiples of bags that have the same look and serve the same purpose? So in this video, I want to share with you several of my recent bag crushes, bags that I fell hard and fast for, and if I didn't give myself a chance to catch my breath, and by catch my breath, I mean step into my closet to take inventory of what I currently already have that's similar, then I don't think I necessarily would have made a regret purchase, but more likely a redundant purchase in which that money could have been put towards something that brought something new to my collection instead. So if you are interested to know what my recent bag crushes have been, then please keep watching. At the end, I'll take stock of what styles I actually don't have in my collection and see if that's something that I'd be interested in terms of closing the gap in my collection for this upcoming year. We'll start with an easy one and the least expensive one of my bag crushes, and that is the Marc Jacobs tote bag in the mini size. Now, to be fair, this has been a long-term crush, and I keep coming back to peek at this bag every now and then. The reason why I haven't and will probably never pull the trigger on this, though, is because I do have the Longchamp Le Foulon top handle bag. Here, let me grab that, and hopefully nothing else falls apart or falls down. So yes, here is my Longchamp Le Foulon top handle bag. And as you can see, aesthetically very similar. It does have a crossbody adjustable strap that is also removable. But yeah, maybe I could potentially justify the mini size in another neutral color that's not the argan oil. Even though that is my favorite, that would be, you know, almost identical to this one here. And because this is more comparable in size to the small tote, I think I could possibly justify getting the mini, but still overall aesthetically, they are just too similar. So I think I'm just gonna continue to crush on the Marc Jacobs mini tote from a distance. My next bag crush is one that I've mentioned several times lately, and that is the Chanel reissue. Now, I've had my eye on several on Fashionphile in the 226 size and even the 227 size. The prices on those, in my opinion, are still quite reasonable because they're not the most trending bags at the moment. So I feel like this would be a perfect time to pick one of those up if you are also looking for the reissue. Now, the reissue actually fits a number of my new bag buying criteria, and I feel like it's a way for me to have a little more of an understated Chanel moment if that was what I was looking for. The thing I need to be careful about is getting it in the right specs. Now, I've seen some really cool grungy looking ones with like the ruthenium or silver hardware with the aged crumpled calfskin, and even a couple of so black versions. And while those were the ones that caught my eye, I think it's such a vibe for a casual outfit, especially in the 226 size and up. The problem would be this. I already own the Hermes Halton in the size 31 that honestly would make those specs redundant. I know they're not exactly the same style, but they are similar enough that I would be using and styling them the same way because you still have, you know, a flat closure. They are comparable size-wise. And again, the overall shape and size means I would be reaching for either bags to accomplish the same look. So here is a closer look at mine. I bought this pre-loved while on vacation. I love the fact that it has two separate back pockets and it is extremely roomy on the inside. I do have an organizer and a dust bag in here. I currently have it set to like the mid-length setting, so it's a longer shoulder bag. But yeah, I just think they would accomplish the same look. So if I were to consider the reissue in the 226 or 227 size, it would have to be completely different in specs to justify it. And while there are some options on the pre-loved market right now, those just don't sing to me like the grungier Chanel reissues that I've been looking at. The same goes for my next two bag crushes, both from YSL, and I'll just lump these two together because they are so similar. At one point in time, I had thought of adding the YSL medium college bag, and more recently, someone in my comments brought up the Nikki bag, and so for a minute, I went down the rabbit hole, especially since you can find both of those bags for such a good deal on the pre-loved market. Again, I found myself being drawn to the college bags that had more of that tonal look where the YSL logo blended into the color of the bag. So either in like the So Black edition or a gray with the aged silver metal hardware. I thought those were so pretty. And so it made sense that led me to look at the Nikki bag as well. And Fashionphile had a few Nikkis in the So Black, and I was incredibly tempted because the price was just so good, especially during their Christmas additional 10% off sale. But at the end of the day, I think I would be styling it the same way as my Halston. Maybe if I went for a lighter beige or white instead, they would be different enough. But again, those just didn't sing out to me like the So Black Nikki or college bag. P.S. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. And if you are new, welcome to A Briefcase of Luxury, a place where we love to chat about all things related to life, learning, and luxury. And while I have no intentions of quitting my day job as a business professor, your support really does mean the world to me. And I would love to grow this channel. So thank you so much to those of you who have subscribed, liked, commented, or shared my videos. I really, truly do appreciate it. And if you haven't already subscribed, I hope you consider doing so, especially if, like me, you have a teensy obsession when it comes to a good handbag. We're apparently on a mini YSL streak here because my next recent bag crush is actually finally a new release. Like I said, I don't really keep up with new releases much, but this one really made me perk up a little when I first saw it. And it is the new YSL Le 5 Cassette, or the 5 to 7 supple bag in the small size. Now, I've never been much of a fan of that line. I mean, I liked it just fine, don't get me wrong, but I had no intentions of ever buying the original mini shoulder bag. But that's only because I already have my little Versace hobo bag. Let me grab that. So yeah, it's because I already had this little cutie and I thought that would be way too similar. And so it would be too much of a duplicate for my collection. But when I saw the new supple bag version, I just thought it was such a usable, practical bag. Now, I probably wouldn't have gotten it in black because I had recently sewed off a very similar Versace vertical shopper tote, but I thought the colors Dusty Gray and Fox were they were so beautiful. But I've pretty much already jimmy rigged my Hermes Evelyn PM to function as the same bag. So look, we got now a short shoulder strap. This was from Etsy. It's got a very similar top fastener across the top. The one difference is the Evelyn does have a back pocket. The size, again, is comparable. And let's talk about price. The YSL bag is retailing for about $26.50 at the moment, and the Hermes Evelyn in the PM size is a smidge more. And although it's not the hardest bag to get from the boutique, it can still be a little unobtainable. So I guess this YSL supple bag is a good dupe if you are wanting the Evelyn PM, but you don't want to wait for it, or maybe you're not the biggest fan of the original chunky canvas shoulder strap it comes with. The new YSL bag may be a good option. The only issue is that you are limited to carrying that bag as a shoulder bag. Now, with this new Etsy strap that I've bought for the Evelyn, this is how I solely wear the Evelyn bag. I have yet to use it with the original canvas strap, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. My next bag crush, I guess, is also a more recent release. It is from Louis Vuitton, and it is the Pochette Métis East West in the Empreinte leather, which currently retails for $29.80, which surprisingly is only like $70 more than the monogram canvas version, which retails for $29.10. Honestly, sometimes I just don't understand Louis Vuitton's pricing. I'm assuming they're making a bigger margin on the canvas version, but I don't know. But what I do know is that the original Chanel Pochette Métis was a long time wish list bag for me, but apparently it now lives rent-free in my head to the point where I don't even find the need to officially add it to my collection. And I know a lot of people had beef with how bulky the original size was, so the East-West version does seem to be the perfect solution, and I think it's so stinking cute. Again, as hard as I'm crushing on that bag, I really don't find the need to add it, especially in the empreinte leather, because I do have my Coach Kip turn lock bag right here that I picked up for half off retail at the DFW airport. So this retailed for about, or I paid about $250 for this, and it's in this beautiful glove tanned leather, and it's has that embossed right at the bottom. And so it's definitely a more casual leather bag compared to the Louis Vuitton empreinte version, but I just don't think I'll get what is it, like 10 times the amount of satisfaction with the East-West just based on the 10x price difference. I think I've been perfectly satisfied with the Coach Kip turn lock, and I don't see the East-West version adding more to my collection beyond what this does for me. My last bag crush, well, to be honest, this is more like the one that got away. Like, this is more than a crush, to be fair. This is another long time wish list bag. So we're really more like star-crossed lovers at this point in time, but that is the Kelly 28. Now, I will be a little bit more specific than that though. Fashionphile had this beautiful box vintage Kelly 28 that was from my birth year. And I think there's something so incredibly romantic or dreamy about getting a bag that's as old as or as young as you are, potato, potato, right? In fact, I think Fashionphile had dropped at least 2 Kelly 28s this year that were from my birth year, both in black box leather with gold hardware. I never considered getting bags from my birth year as something to aspire to until I saw those Kellys, and my heart just, like, my heart was stolen, gone. Like, I was dead. They were both in such beautiful condition. The box leather had patinaed so perfectly, and part of me is still kicking myself, wondering if I made a mistake letting them get away. But this was right around the summertime when I had bought my Hermes her bag in the Berline coated canvas in black with gold hardware. Again, this is one of my non-quota dream bags, so I'm beyond excited to have her in the family now. And so at that point, it felt super redundant to get either of those Kelly 28s at that point in time. But till this day, I find myself wondering, like, would it be so bad to add a vintage Kelly or a Birkin, you know, just from my birth year? And is that something I'd be interested in hunting down in the future? Like, I can get behind the romance of that. My issue is that in the back of my mind, I'm just constantly thinking that, you know, a Birkin in the 80s would have ran you about $2,000, and the Kelly maybe, I think, like $3,000 to $4,000. Now, I think the price for both the vintage Kellys that I was looking at, they bottomed out at about $9,000 before they were sold. So there's that, and I just don't know how I feel about paying triple, quadruple for a bag that only originally cost a fraction of what they're costing now. So that was a quick rundown of my current most recent bag crushes, and as much as I fell head over heels for them, taking a step back to look in my closet first before pulling the trigger has been such a great way to remind myself that, yeah, I like those bags for a reason, and chances are I already have something similar. So why am I still out there looking? It's like when someone cheats on their spouse with someone that is the splitting image of their spouse, if that makes sense. That's a terrible analogy, but we're just gonna go with it. Now, I'm currently in the process of planning out my luxury wish list for 2024, and while I don't think bags will take priority for the year, I do want to make sure that whatever I'm spending my time and energy focusing on hunting down, that they add something to my collection and they're not duplicates or repeat purchases. So there are several bag styles that I would like to add that I actually currently don't have. Like a small mini flat bag that's bigger than a wallet on chain. I think that would be really nice to have. I think a statement bag would be a really fun, quirky addition. And I'm also thinking a more structured, like cassette style bag. Like looking back at my Constance alternative video, there are definitely several bags on that list that I would be interested in adding, or at least just one, because I don't have that silhouette at all in my current collection. At least I don't think I do. I'll have to check. And the fact that I can't know off the top of my head for sure means I probably already have too many bags, but that is another issue for another day. So do you have any bag crushes that you've gotten over recently? Let me know what they are down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button, and I can't wait to catch up with you again soon.